just want to start off and say, you all guys, just thank you very much for the support. I mean, I'm not talking monetarily, of course, like these Patreon guys, but just being engaged. Just paying interest to all the topics out there. Whether you're just a one sport viewer, whether you're a multi sport viewer and take interest across multiple sports. Appreciate the support, appreciate the interest in the work that I do. And I'm very glad you find gematria and numerology very interesting. So I just wanted to start out and say that because I don't take it for granted whatsoever. And this is very interesting stuff. And of course, you guys pay a very much close attention to it. So thank you for that. But enter Quinn, enter the Archibald Manning the third. You know, I was like, hey, this guy got hit pretty good. He got watched pretty good last week, but it's a strained abdomen, so it's not season ending as far as I can tell. Ewers probably won't play against. They're playing a small school. They're not playing an SEC team next week. So Arch Manning gets his first start next week. With that being said, you figure Ewers will probably come back at some point. But let's say if Archibald Manning does very well, will they stick with the hot hand if he does play well? So that is a question. If he ends up playing very well and you want to kind of stick with the hot hand, is Ewers going to keep his job? I think due to seniority, I think they will stick with Ewers regardless, unless if he gets another serious injury. But if Arch Manning plays like a superstar, you may just have to ride the hot hand. It could be a very interesting dilemma. It's going to be very interesting to see how Texas does. They get that small school next week, and then they get Mississippi State. So with the strained abdomen, you don't need to have him play next week against that. Let me go to the schedule quickly, see who Texas is playing. My point is that they're not playing SEC team next week. Louisiana Monroe. So looks like that's Arch Manning's first career start is against Louisiana Monroe. But I don't know if I'm going to break down his game today, or if I'm going to wait until tomorrow, right after the Cardinals game. Basically, everyone's watching the Bengals and the Chiefs, and here I will be watching the Cardinal game. Well, I'll be watching both games. To be honest, I'll be watching the Chiefs game on my laptop. Travis Kelce scored a touchdown. I'll be watching the Cardinal game over there, and hopefully they do beat the Rams. So I think before Sunday Night Football is probably what I will break down his relief appearance today. He came in relief last week. But yeah, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. Obviously, if he's too injured to go, or if Archibald Manning does very well, and you have no choice but to stick with the hot hand. So it is going to be very interesting to see what goes down as far as the quarterback of Texas. I'm not sure what the medical diagnosis is on the strained abdomen, how many weeks you're out, but I presume probably 2 to 4 weeks. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a season-ending injury, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. But I think from what I've heard about Texas, they didn't start Arch Manning right away, right? They're riding with their experienced quarterback, so I think um, they're probably going to stick with them. They're going to stick with Quinn Ewers once he comes back. But it still remains a very interesting question um, to see what happens. So it'll be interesting to see. I do like Texas. Um, One thing that's possible is a two quarterback system, alternating between two quarterbacks. Some teams have done this before. I've seen Brian Kelly do it with Notre Dame, Zaire, and Christ, I think. So a two quarterback system, alternating between two quarterbacks is something it really happens, but it's something that has happened before in college football. So that is another possibility. So basically, this is my takeaway from the injury to Quinn Ewers. He probably will return. He probably won't lose his job. But Arch Manning does get a start. He gets some experience. So this is a positive for Texas, is that they don't play SEC next week. And you get Arch Manning a start under his belt. Strained abdomen, he's not coming back the very next week, right? You figure Arch Manning's going to come in and play. Man, what a wild sports Sunday. North London Derby, if you watch soccer, Arsenal and Tottenham, and then Bengals and you see, that team was yapping all week long. The Chiefs are going to hammer, they nail down. They are going to give them the business. The Chiefs are going to show why they are on top. I realize the spread is 6.5 points, probably because they lost to the Patriots last week. But at the end of the day, the Bengals are yapping their mouths. And most of the time, the team that comes out yapping and talking the shit and talking trash and talking bullshit's the team that ends up losing. So you didn't hear anybody on Kansas City saying that they the team to beat, that we're absolutely going to beat Cincinnati. We are the team to beat. No, they are staying focused on the task at hand, on the game coming up this next week. And you have that Bengals cornerback, and you have Jamar Chase saying that we the team to win the AFC. This is just going to motivate Kansas City. Can the Chiefs win by multiple possessions? I think they can. I think it'd be a tremendous storyline if people start wondering if Joe Burrow's going to ever be the same quarterback ever again. Even after week 2, I think it's reactionary to say that he's not the same player. Purely reactionary, because Zach Taylor doesn't really start out quick to begin with. He tends to always lose in week 1. So that's not a big deal, but you're recovering from a year without making the playoffs and against a team that is just red hot. Bengals are still a playoff team. Even if they lose, I can envision the Bengals coming back from 0-2 record to making the playoffs. 0-2 record to winning the Super Bowl would be a very storybook kind of legendary, that would write the legend of Joe Burrow, let's say, if it does happen. It remains very interesting, although there is legendary status for both quarterbacks should whoever's picked to win the Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. Lamar would obviously start 2-3, 2-2, because I think the Ravens lose to Buffalo at home. And I'd probably envision the Bengals beating the Ravens week 4, week 5. So at the end of the day, both of these teams, I think, will be playoff teams. Although you never know, the Jets, the Chargers, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Texans, the Jaguars, this is a very, very interesting, crowded playoff field. So nothing's a given for any team out there. Again, the next game for the Bills after Thursday, when I think of the Jaguars game, again, I think about the revenge game for London. I think the Jaguars won the game at London last year, if my memory serves me correct. Let me look it up on Google. Bills Jaguars 2023. The Jaguars won 25-20. So for Buffalo is what it comes down to. I don't give a damn if Buffalo going to be on top of the conference or top 3, top 4, what have you. Buffalo ain't not winning the Super Bowl. They won't make it to the Super Bowl. Would a Bills Lions Super Bowl be interesting? Hell yes, it would. I'm not saying Bills Lions is a bad Super Bowl. I think Bills Lions is a tremendous Super Bowl because both teams have long championship droughts. The Bills, I think, won AFL championships. The Lions, they won the 1957 NFL championship game. So if it were Lions Bills, it would be a very interesting proposition. I'm not saying it would be interesting, but at the end of the day, when the Bills make it to the Super Bowl, they're going to win the Super Bowl. But I am just of the opinion that it's going to happen after opening the new stadium. Now, when the Bills win the Super Bowl, they'll be the number one seed in the conference. Let's lay the foundation down. Let's lay the foundation down. Because when you build a new stadium, it costs money, financing, or taxpayer dollars. So how to pay down the debt of a new stadium? You have home field advantage. So a divisional in a conference championship game would pay off the stadium debt, especially if there's exorbitant ticket demand for the AFC title game on top of being a recent state-of-the-art stadium. So that's kind of how the future is going to turn up. That's how the future is going to turn out to be. The Jags got a new stadium. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. Well, what year does the new stadium open? Or you mean stadium renovations? Stadium renovations. Okay, stadium renovations. June 25th. I typed it on Google. Jacksonville approves $1.4 billion renovation. You may be on to something there. So the big games that the Texans have towards November and December, maybe we can pick the opposite team. Something to think about. That's great job, Nick. Les Flair of bringing up the Jags stadium. Many times after stadium renovations, you see a team make it to a championship. Lose a Phoenix Suns stadium renovation, Robert Sava, 2021 City Town Hall, the old lady starts talking the shit about Robert Sava and not wanting the taxpayer money to fork up for the renovations. And then a year later, the Suns make it to the finals. So this kind of thing is very common. After new stadium renovations, and teams win the championships. The rigged NBA already saw the Warriors win a championship in their new arena. They did at San Francisco. The Milwaukee Bucks won their new arena right after they opened their new arena. So again, the LA Clippers, based off of history, we can expect the Clippers to win a championship within the next 3-4 seasons. After LeBron retires, Clippers probably win one before the loser Phoenix Suns. I hate to say it. I hate to see it, but LA Clippers win the championship. Before that, you lose the Phoenix Suns win their next championship. My week 2 video has 400 to 500 views. So let's start off with week 2. The Dolphins. I went with the Dolphins. They lost just because I thought, it was must win for the Dolphins. But then there's a real MVP narrative with Josh Allen. The Bills Chiefs game is going to have MVP implications in November. So that's probably what the NFL had in line for that. So again, I have the Chargers beating the Panthers. That's a lock. The Ravens. I'd be shocked if the Ravens lose against the Raiders or the Panthers. Jim Harbaugh ain't losing to a terrible Panthers team. That's the logic behind that. The Raiders ain't got no quarterback. The Ravens need they win at home, and Lamar was balling against. People start hitting on Lamar Jackson and he overthrew him, all that. But the fact of the matter is Lamar battled back at Arrowhead. The Ravens look in good shape. They're going to have the tough losses early on. It's supposed to be a narrative of Lamar Jackson can't beat the elite quarterbacks. He's a running back. So there's a narrative to stick by through the rest of the year. So this is how I get the Bills beating the Baltimore Ravens in week 3. And they still moral victories if they close losses. Because at the end of the day, the Ravens going to get another crack at them in the playoffs, and the Ravens are going to beat them when they get the next crack at them again in the playoffs. I know Derrick Henry is such a big beast. Derrick Henry, stay healthy. He is the player that has to stay healthy for Baltimore. I don't know what their number 2 and number 3 running backs are. The Ravens have had injury problems at the running back position, but I think Derrick Henry is a workhorse. He's made of iron. He's made of steel. He will not miss significant time. This guy is a tank. He's hard to break down. The Ravens will have him on the field the entire season. It's so weird seeing Cal and Oregon State play all these Mountain West teams. I'm not a big fan of the gold mustard helmets of Cal, but I do like the jerseys. It's just so weird, man. My Pac-12 is gone. It's all gone. I still like to see the Pac-12 whip the ass of the Mountain West teams over here. So go Beavers, go Cal. It's weird seeing Stanford and Cal play the ACC. It's so weird. It's not even geographical anymore. It's so weird. Anyway, yeah, Notre Dame won, but it's too little, too late. The quarterback is garbage, and the coach picked the wrong quarterback. But there are too many fans out there. Oh, you're gonna look ahead. You're gonna stop being negative. Blah 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 blah. Well, this team is out of the freaking playoffs because they don't develop a quarterback. They had a much better quarterback. They one-dimensional. Notre Dame is trash, folks. I guess according to Sports Gematria channel, Hacky Hubbard predicted Notre Dame to win the national championship. But apparently, his video was titled, his short was titled Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Notre Dame, man. That was a good one. Again, it's just common sense. Can I see a world where the Titans lose against the Jets? I mean, this is the AFC, the Jets. They have to keep up. Did they play San Francisco week 1? They did. I think it's about overcoming adversity for the Jets. What is it, 3 games in 11 days? So Monday through Thursday, because they play on Thursday. If the Jets get 2 wins out of 3 in a span of 11 days, then you'll hear all this talk about we overcome adversity, short week, blah, blah, blah. Because they play Monday, then they play Sunday. That's 6 days. Then 4 days later, are you talking 10 days after Monday? They play on Thursday at home against the Patriots. December going to be dope, man. Especially the AFC, man. AFC is where this shit is at, man. Fire the whole Cardinals team if they lose in this weak-ass NFC. If Kyler Murray gets paid $200 million and he's not in the AFC, he has to make the playoffs. This is a game that he has to win. Otherwise, Kyler's overpaid if he loses against the Rams. He's got to win. You play the NFC, you have to make the playoffs. You have to justify giving Kyler Murray that kind of contract. I like him, he's good, but you got to get it done. That's what it counts. Titans are trapped. There's no Derrick Henry. He's King Henry. Without King Henry, what are they? I'll go Jets all day over the Titanics. the Jets finished the game strong. They got the late touchdown there. They're building some momentum entering this football Sunday. Hopefully the Lions beat the Bucks. Hopefully, I think I heard Tampa had a couple injuries. Not that injuries means anything. You hear many times where team missing all the injured players. They end up winning with the backups, right? You see this stuff all the time. This record don't mean garbage. It don't mean anything. Bryce Purdy against Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh's gonna whip the ass, man. They're building up the hype for the Chargers Chiefs Week 3 game. Chiefs gonna be 2-0 and Chargers gonna be 2-0. That game is how good is Jim Harbaugh? How good are the Chargers? The Chargers are gonna win. Otherwise, you can't really sell me Chargers Chiefs Week 3. I didn't lose against the Panthers. Don't tell me they beaten the Chiefs. No, they whipped the ass of the Carolina Panthers, and you give me a case as to why this can be attractive for Kansas City. Yeah, if it's NFL game of the week, do they play in the morning or in the afternoon? The Cowboys and the Saints. See, look at that. The Mountain West is trash. This conference move helps teams like Cal and Oregon State because they're far superior to these other teams. It's 20-3 Cal over San Diego State. San Diego State lost 21-0 to Oregon State. So I guess according to my polls, most people are taking the Rams over the Cardinals, but I'm telling you, Rams going to lose that game. They were down 17-3. It probably was rigged for the game to end in a scripted comeback for the Lions. Those same old Lions, they're losing. They blew it. Then the Lions have a dramatic victory. It was a scripted game. Lions were whipping the behinds of the LA Rams. Rams are losing against the Cardinals. You want to tell me that Kyler Murray didn't see Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open? Please. Cardinals are beating the Rams. Although I think if it's game of the week with Tony Romo and Jim Nance, Chiefs find a way to score late or something. Only thing I'll bet on the Chiefs game is Travis Kelce score a touchdown. Again, if Kelce scores a touchdown, it's the first and second quarter. Booyah! You can just enjoy a good game the third and fourth quarter, not worry about BS point spreads or outrights to win or any of that garbage. So best case scenario, Travis Kelce to score anytime in the first three quarters. And you sit back and enjoy the fourth quarter. That sounds like a plan. Well, I think the Cardinals can beat the Lions. Again, the Lions going to be a great team, but then you got to doubt the Lions. You can't be over the Lions all season long. I don't know. I thought the Lion Packer game was going to be great, but then Jordan Love is going to be out until November, December, or whatever. So much for the Lions Packers games that looked like they're going to be very good before the start of the season. It's a little bit of everything. You see, on the Saturday and Sundays during the weekends. You get your big soccer derbies like North London, Arsenal, Tottenham. You have your Milan derby, Inter Milan and AC Milan. They'll be playing while the NFL is on. I got the NFL on the 4 games on one screen and the soccer game on the other. A little bit of everything. So maybe if all the favorites win, then maybe Sunday Night Football is a close game. Maybe. There's got to be a little tongue twister in between. I can't see the Packers beating the Colts. I'm probably not going to bet on that game. I probably shouldn't. Just think Packers, they seem to always win with backups. There's something about the Packers. Yeah, Broncos Steelers, I'm not going to touch, but Sean Payton is a mitigated disaster, and I think the Steelers are going to win that game. Oh, that'll be very entertaining if the Steelers lose, because Mike Tomlin, here we go, we're overlooking the weak teams, blah, 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 blah. So that'd be very interesting. But who's the quarterback for the Steelers? That game was interesting because Russell Wilson could have faced off against the Donkeys, but I don't think he's playing this week. Are they sticking with their quarterback? Because they didn't score any touchdowns. The Steelers didn't score any touchdowns. They had to kick 6 field goals. So they were getting yards, they were getting first downs, but they're not finishing drives. Source is Steelers, Wilson likely out for week 2. Is there going to be a game, or is there going to be a game where Justin Fields does so crap that they force in Russell Wilson? That's probably how the Steelers season is going to turn out. Fields is a fraud, and he's playing garbage, and clearly it didn't matter who the quarterback of the Bears is going to be. Fields sucks. He's not going to do good at all. He's too he doesn't have a pocket presence. He gets too happy feet. This is what I don't like about him. I mean, the defense won the Steelers that game last week. Fields is awful. He's terrible. When Fields is garbage, I will not touch that Steelers-Broncos game and start cursing Justin Fields on Sunday afternoon. May as well take a superstar like Kyler Murray. May as well take James Conner as a Pro Bowl running back. May as well take Trey McBride, 81 catches for a tight end, a Pro Bowl tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. May as well take the home team. I'm telling you, Cardinals going to beat the Rams. People were telling me that my Cardinals are going to upset the Bills. I told them, no, we are losing that week, and we did lose that week. Let's say if they beat the Rams, Cardinals, I'll pick them to beat the Lions. I think people got to doubt the Lions at some point. They got to test their character. Jared Goff is a division rival quarterback, having played with the LA Rams. So this Arizona Cardinals Lions game will be very interesting, just because Jared Goff has faced off against Cardinals a lot of times. He does own the Cardinals. I mean, he does own the Cardinals. What is he, 8-1 or 9-1 or 9-2 against the Cardinals? So he's on the Cardinals. So that's what makes Cardinals Lions a very interesting game in week 3. It's 5 hours until Roma and Genoa. I'm supposed to watch soccer at 3:30 in the morning in the Mountain West in Arizona. You are a freaking junkie. By the way, check out the channel Gruden Loves Football. This guy is really into the game. Our video previews of each game. Gruden Loves Football is the name of the channel. John Gruden is back, motherfucker. John Gruden is back. Gruden Tube. Gruden Tube. Gruden Guarder. Here we go. John Gruden is on YouTube. Grandmaster Gruden. He's back on the YouTube. He's probably a better football analyst than all of the other jokers that are on ESPN. Arsenal Tottenham at 6 in the morning, Mountain Standard, Arizona time. Tottenham and Arsenal. Yep. I'll be watching soccer. You need something to get you going. This is what gets you going right here. This stuff. stuff. How about that? Fuck the Rams. Fuck the Rams. Fuck them, man. Fuck them. This team's a bunch of characters. Oh, Cardinals losing franchise. Oh my god. It's finally a cold day in hell in the desert. Cardinals got to beat the fuck ass Rams for what? For what? No, I'm not one of these retards who think their favorite team is winning every week. I knew we had no chance against the Bills. Don't get me started. Don't get me started with Cardinals are going to play in the Super Bowl at New Orleans. Please, give me a break. This team ain't beating the Lions. I hope they beat the Lions, but they ain't beating the Lions. May this team lose against the Eagles? Maybe. NFC East rivalry, old NFC East going back 20 years. NFC East division realignment 2002. Please. I know a lot of brothers out there are going to like the Cardinals because of Kyler Murray, very electric player running with the ball, those elusive legs. I'm glad we got the support from all the nation. We need a team like that in the playoffs. It's got the support of everybody. Everybody, I want to see an exciting, electrifying football player, regardless of skin color. But they brothers up there, and they got Murray, baby. Hell yeah, I embrace that, man. Go Cards. People like watching Kyler Murray. People have a soft spot for the Cardinals. Hell yeah. Who would want to see this team in the playoffs? Kyler Murray over Matthew Stafford. Kyler Murray's a midget. He's a freaking what the hell is he? A lot of Kyler Murray haters, but Cardinals are pretty bad without Kyler Murray, but he did pretty good last year. Reinforcements. I mean, Hollywood Brown. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs. They know that wide receivers don't win Super Bowls. So again, they took Hollywood Brown, but he wasn't exactly the number one with Baltimore, was he? Hollywood Brown. Well, he was injured week one, but he'll face off against the Ravens in the playoffs. Hollywood Brown, but he ain't no number one wide receiver. And the NBA people are whining and crying that Goki the buy and their team haven't signed any players this offseason, but I ain't got no patience for that. I know it's going to be a magical season because I know Shaq has said it's going to be a slow start to the season. It will be a slow start to the season. It takes time. It takes time. People will be whining and crying and waiting. This team dominating. I don't give a damn. It's a new coach. The players are together, but that should help the new coach. That there's not much roster turnover from the prior season. That is a plus for JJ Redick that he doesn't have a lot of new players. The team will gel. The players will gel with each other. It's just a matter of the coach getting the feel of the personnel in hand in these in-game situations. So that's how we approach, say, Lakers. And Anthony Davis and don't move on. It's about staying healthy for March, April, May, and June. That's where it comes down to it. Money Signard says, my week 2 parlay, Ravens, Chiefs, Cardinals, Giants, Panthers, the cover. It's always a risk for the Panthers to cover against Jim Harbaugh. The NFC East game is 50-50. It is, but the Giants are terrible. I think Jaden Daniels getting his first win as a quarterback at his home stadium, I think, is probably going to – I mean, the Giants coach is fired. The Giants are probably going to start very soon. The Giants, these mock drafts – people have Miller, Moss going to the Giants. So Giants going to lose. Washington, new coach, feeling good, new owners, new quarterback. Washington is the team that's going to get the win because they are on the ascendancy. The Giants are on the descendancy. They look terrible after deciding to bring back their coach, and Daniel Jones is overpaid and washed up and overhyped. 64 touchdowns and 38 interceptions. Daniel Jones is overhyped. I'll take the Heisman candidate over Daniel Jones. That's just me. Again, anything can happen. But from what I've seen from the Giants, I don't see anything to believe that they're capable of getting a win on the road. From what I see from the Giants, they look terrible. They don't look terrible. They are terrible. Giants are garbage. I rest my case. Again, when I was growing up, I liked the Giants, you see. I root for them in every single one of their playoff games, Super Bowl 42 and Super Bowl 46. But the fact of the matter is the Giants are a terrible team. Yeah, you're very disciplined, and I give you the credit for that because parlayitis is a very bad diagnosis to have. And the fact is, they're so tempting. Parlayitis. My recommendation to destroy parlayitis, the disease of attempting so many parlays is, I think, 90 is no more of 20% of your bankroll should be on. I think only 10% of your bankroll should be on parlays, if you're really being honest. It is about minimizing losses and saving stress and enjoying your bankroll that you have and knowing that, hey, I can lose this game. I'll still be great. That's the right approach. Well, yeah, I get texts from the VP of Caesars, and he still attempts 18 parlays. So no matter what, parlays are obviously very tempting, and everyone's going to start attempting parlays. It's the thrill factor. It's the psychological factor. But if the Titans avoid having the special teams let down or throwing a pick six, can they beat the New York Jets? I mean, Jet season's always a disaster if they lose against the Titans. And they're not going to make Aaron Rodgers look that bad. I don't think it benefits the NFL to have the Jets lose. I think it would benefit the NFL to have the Jets chasing the Chargers and the Jaguars, in the Texans, and one of the two between the Ravens and the Bengals, and maybe the Steelers, just in case if they start 2-0. I don't think it benefits the NFL to have the Jets lose. I don't think I'm overthinking it. I think I'm being realistic. And people are going to really like the NFL for this channel. Well, they already do like it when January comes because we've had the Chiefs winning every playoff game in the past 2 years. Well, you don't have to go heavy on a Kelsey touchdown. The fact of the matter is, Cincinnati Bengals 75. Travis Kelsey played college football at the Cincinnati Bearcats. He's had 74 touchdowns. His 75th touchdown can occur against the Cincinnati Bengals. And Cincinnati Bengals is 75 in the match. The rookie wide receiver had a big game in week 1 to the Cincinnati Bengals game plan, the double cover, to be sure that he's not getting easy space down the middle of the field, and that could leave space open for Kelsey. Of course it can. But that's how the Chiefs play football. It's a different guy every week. They exploited the rookie wide receiver against the Ravens, and it may be Travis Kelce this week. The Chiefs don't settle for fantasy football stats. They about winning football games. They don't give a damn about how your fantasy team is doing. For the Chiefs, a different guy on the offense could have a big game in any different week. That's how the Chiefs approach football. And that's what makes the Chiefs not a one-dimensional team. Oh, we're going to force it to Kelce. We're going to force it to Kelce. No, the Chiefs will rely on a different offensive player every different week. So the Chiefs are not one-dimensional because of that. How the Bills will be if they're not one-dimensional with Stephon Diggs. Even though he did drop the touchdown, he technically should have beat the Chiefs. The Bills, by getting rid of Stephon Diggs, may not be one-dimensional in the passing game. And so again, if the Bills are supposed to win the Super Bowl and getting rid of, and wide receivers don't win you Super Bowl. So I think the Bills did a great job of trading away Stephon Diggs. Terrell Owens to the Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't win the Super Bowl. They didn't do that. That wide receiver, Williams, he was with the Lions. He went to the Cowboys 2008, 2007, whatever. The Cowboys were a wide receiver away from winning the Super Bowl with Tony Romo in 2008. They didn't win. That's my point. Do the Patriots trade for a Pro Bowl wide receiver? They've never done that with Tom Brady. But fortunately for Tampa, they already had Mike Evans. The Chiefs wide receivers were terrible, and Patrick Mahomes won the Super Bowl last year. And sometimes you do win with the star wide receiver. Odell Beckham on the Rams, they got him first year, but the whole Super Bowl for the Rams is rigged because they all wanted in free agency, and it was all rigged because COVID was happening, social distancing, and the Rams, they won in their home stadium, you see, and that was during COVID and social distancing because, not everyone was vaccinated. So that's how that Super Bowl was rigged. So keep the Clippers on the back part of your mind. Keep the Bills on the back part of your mind. When you know that things happen that did happen historically, building a new stadium, playing a championship, winning a championship. When you go off of this is how you can predict the future is by predicting the past. So if you know what happened with the loser Phoenix Suns after stadium renovations, after the Warriors and the Bucks built new arenas and they won the championship, so Clippers are going to win, Bills going to win. These are the things you have to look out for. Okay, Jaguars, stadium renovations. Are the Jaguars going to win the division? Maybe. Would most people bet on the Texans to win the division? Probably. Did Trevor Lawrence get a new contract? Yes. After a new contract, is he going to win the AFC South? That'd be a pretty good storyline. It would be. Jaguars can be, it don't matter. It's the AFC. Tua, Burrow, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Rodgers, Herbert, Stroud. I'm telling you. Now, I wasn't really alive to see the NFC when they won 13 straight Super Bowls. But I get the feeling we're in a similar era with the AFC right now. That's just what I think about the NFC era of Montana and the Giants and the Washington football team and the 49ers. The most of the talent was in the NFC. Most of the quarterbacks were in the NFC. Not every quarterback. Jim Kelly was great, but he lost 4 straight Super Bowls. Jared Goff is really great. Hurts is great. Kyler's very electrifying. But the talent is in the AFC. So if the Lions do win the NFC, I get the feeling people are going to bet on the Lions to win. That's very risky because Jared Goff only scored 3 points in 4 quarters in a Super Bowl. Now, it's interesting when you think about Gematria of the LA Rams. Because here's how you can Gematria it. It's like they scored 3 points in 4 quarters of a Super Bowl because the game ended 13-3. So 3 points in 4 quarters, that's how that game was rigged for Belichick. That Belichick won Brady that Super Bowl, and then Tom Brady proved he didn't need Bill Belichick, blah, 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 blah. But the two guys needed each other. New coach on Alabama. Washington hasn't played really big games in the Pac 12. USC is a big game, but USC was not good last year. They had a bad defense. So, Nick, between Georgia and Alabama, I take Georgia because any Alabama fan wanted to fire Nick Saban because they lost to Auburn. It's like, you can't take this guy for granted. So what? Alabama didn't win a championship 1 year. You want the guy to be fired. I think Nick Saban's going to prove how great he really is when Alabama doesn't win national titles without Nick Saban. So I'm going to go with Georgia to beat Alabama. I think Georgia wins by more than 3 points. Georgia minus 3.5 over Alabama? I take Georgia. Nick Saban really is the GOAT. What do you think about it? Bear Bryant's a big legacy. How many national titles did Bear Bryant win? 6 or 7? That's a pretty big legacy to match. And that's exactly what Nick Saban did. So it's something that's very difficult to live in the shadows of. Although when Nick Saban went to Alabama, it's like they weren't really talking about Nick Saban winning 6 national titles. They were just like, can he build a winner? But he built more than just a winner. He built a perennial winning program. So let's keep a close watch on Texas. How do they do? Is Archibald Manning going to ride the bench against Mississippi State, or when's Quinn Ewers going to come back? So a lot of unanswered questions, obviously, that hopefully will be answered, but questions that you should leave on the back of your mind, questions that we need to ask, questions that you have to keep in mind for. So let's keep in mind the questions. If you are a bettor, you should watch soccer. My best months of the year are September and October. Why? Because very rarely does a same sport 5 to 18 parlay, you're going to get every pick right. I would say is you pick your two best, your two top picks for each sport. Let's say you do soccer. Let's say you do NCAA. Let's say you do baseball. Let's say you do NFL. I think that's the easiest time to deal parlay is when there's a lot of sports going on at one time, and that month is October. When you combine the start of the NBA and the NHL, I really don't do hockey, honestly, but NBA in October, I'd be doing NBA all the time, man, because that's how we roll. We big ballers here, and we be rolling with Broken LeBron James and his 6 ring, and they misbelieve us. They be believing, they be selling them short, but I'm not selling them short. Because I believe everything happens for a reason. He may not have won a championship in the last 4 years, but it really it makes people doubt Bo Bond's ability to win a championship again. People are brainwashed by the mainstream media. The mainstream media is part of the brainwashing. Oh, he's done winning rings. Oh, he's gonna win a ring and be greater than Michael Jordan. These people are brainwashed. These people are brainwashed. They really think Oki LeBron's gonna spend his whole career without winning a title in front of fans? Please. Bitch, please. Nigga, please. I don't know about Oki. You really believe he not winning a championship in front of the fans? Get out of here! Get out of here! Not with no championship in front of the fans. You guys shall not believe in they blasphemous. Get out of here. So I have to say about that. Enough with the bullshit around here. I see this dude whip their ass on their number 2 Memphis Grizzlies and they Golden State Warriors. I know Goki LeBron can easily whip the ass of the entire league. It's all scripted. It's all BS. That's what it is. You got to sell rivalries. You got to sell competition. And Goki LeBron James can easily win their league every single year if he wanted to. But you have to sell competition. You have to sell rivalries. That's what it comes down to. King LeBron James will easily destroy the Celtics. King LeBron James will easily destroy the trash as Denver Nuggets, and they were trailing for 73% of the series. This is how you know I don't believe in propaganda. You got to ask yourself, why are these things happening? Oh, it's the coach, says the NBA. You got to fire the Darvin Ham. Because, you have to be a scapegoat. You got to be the reason to blame for this. Police, NBA. I can see exactly through your smoke screen. Not a button! You're gonna get that. That guy in the Celtics. No Milwaukee Bucks. Kobe in the Paul George in the 76ers. No. You're not thinking Celtics, Celtics. You're thinking Celtics. Use your damn head. Like I say around here. Kareem Michael Jordan born at New York City. You have to wait for the Knicks for 2026 when the Knicks with the Nova brothers go up against the Celtics. They're not beating the Celtics. The Celtics win their first time around, and they Nova brothers, and they come back another year later after a full season, and they get you more used to each other. That's when they're gonna win. Jay Moran! Moran against Edwards. Mamma mia. I really hope that comes true. My God, I hope you are you hope you can see through it that it's not psychosis. I hope you see right through it. I hope it happens. It's happening, and I hope it does. Psychic powers, that's what it is. I hope you be psychic about that. I hope you are. Ant-Man thinks he they hot shit, and Jay Moran, you know him. Oh, yeah. Bang, 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 bang. You see. When's the third statue going to be unveiled? Fake King Garland Pop-Tags and the LA Lakers and Kobe Bryant. Illuminati, brainwashing, and clear sight. 18 months later, we winning the next championship. They ain't no nothing to tell the LA Lakers they not winning the championship. Cut at me, bro. We win the championship 18 months later after the bubble turtle kid. 18 months later, 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 18 I'm not feeling the energy. I'm not feeling the excitement. I'm not feeling any of that. That's what makes the storybook even more epic, is when they're ready to write off King Badger as the greatest player ever in the game of basketball. Maybe wait, you get closer and closer and closer. This is what we about, Devin. This is what we about. Perseverance, perseverance. JJ Redick's they coach. We ain't got no diamond hair. He ain't rubbing no players the wrong way. That's what we be talking. It's what we be talking. Is that what we be talking? Damn it! It is what we be talking. But you be the boys and they whine and cry and they not be back, but I ain't give a damn. They be whining and crying and pouting, and that's not how black man must be about, is he? Is he? Is he about whining and pouting and not got their business? Get back to the grind. New team, new coach, new vision, fresh start, clean state. Here we go. This is how we want to be. I tell you, the greatest storybook ending ever. When LeBron James, at 40 years of age, win a national title, the national title, the league title, and he wins the very next year, and he says, I'm ready to retire. I am the greatest player ever. I am Lord King of LeBron. I have never, ever lost a playoff game or a playoff series when I am 40 years of age. This is the best possible scenario ever. Man, these Mountain West teams are garbage. The Warriors are washed up. Lincoln's Mavericks is 100%. Teams I eyeballing, it's not the fact that he asked loser Phoenix Suns. The teams I'm eyeing are the Nuggets and the Mavericks and the Celtics. Not in that order, but the Nuggets, the Mavs, and the Celtics are three teams that the LA Lakers can expect to face off in the playoffs. Mavs be number one, so the Nuggets won't be happening in the conference finals. I can't. I don't know. I didn't see the replay. I don't know if it's a faked injury or not, but I had the feeling it was going to happen anyways. Because how else are we going to see Archibald Manning during the season? And here we are. Here we are. When does Texas play who? Yeah, Georgia had a scare today, so this team is not 100% unbeatable. Texas gonna win the game against Georgia, October 19th. Yeah, that's when they're gonna win that game. They'll easily beat Georgia. I wonder what loss number 17 really represents. You'd be interested. That's just going to take over the conference. I guarantee you. Man, the Mountain West really is trash. They're embarrassing that conference. San Diego State, they lose 21-0 against Oregon State. Oh, they're losing 31-7 against Cal. They're embarrassing. Cal against San Diego State. That's the game. Late West Coast. I don't know what the Pac-12 network still exists. I don't. Anyway, peace out. The day of the NFL and the soccer. Be a big day. Absolutely. Terrible football. I don't want to watch this garbage right here. Don't bet the Rams against the Cardinals. This team, they have a lot of injuries. I don't give a damn about no record for the Panthers against the Chargers. I don't give a damn. Use common sense. That team is terrible, and Jim Harbaugh and company are going to destroy them. The Jets Titans could be a toss up. It could be. The momentum is riding with the Washington football team. LA Rams are just yesterday. They got tired when the Lions ran the ball up they throw in overtime. Cardinals have James Conner, Pro Bowl running back. Rams gonna get tired. Cardinals gonna start gushing the Rams for first downs. Here to tell you what about to go down tomorrow. I watched the Sunday night game. The Lions against the Rams. The Rams could not stop a nosebleed in overtime. The Lions didn't attempt a single pass in overtime. To add context to the situation. But the poll says Rams, but it's about Kevin and Torres. What that's all about. Is it an automatic 75th touchdown pass in the regular season for Travis Kelce and Cincinnati Bengals to 75? And he played with the Cincinnati Bearcats, but the game is not going to be played at Cincinnati. But you can get him a touchdown in the first through the third quarter and don't have to worry about the point spread or anything in the fourth quarter. So, again, that's how I approach that dynamic. And hopefully, I think he does catch a touchdown because, again, this guy Travis Kelce is a celebrity for new football fans out there. And after the endorsement of Kamala Harris, it's time for Kelce to lit out the fireworks. Is what I be talking. And for the record, Taylor Swift is not saying y'all should vote for Kamala Harris. She says you should do your own research and come to a conclusion. And according to her research and her conclusion, she has decided that Kamala Harris is the better qualified candidate to be the next president of the United States. And I wholeheartedly agree with her because she's not an insurrectionist. She has not risen the debt of the United States. Donald Trump did. Both Trump and Biden raised the debt by the same amount, excluding the COVID factor. It's 4 trillion, then the COVID, you get 8 trillion with Donald Trump. So again, Taylor says she did her own research. And she just wants people to vote, regardless if they're voting for Trump or they're voting for Kamala. She just wants people to vote. Getting people to vote should be seen as being partisan. Unless if you're worried about higher voter turnout being bad for Republicans. I'm all for people registering to vote for whoever they want to be president. If they want to vote for Trump, I'm all for that. Because again, most people registering to vote, most people are voting for Kamala, and I support having people register to vote for Donald Trump. Because it's about voicing your opinion. Who are the San Francisco Criers? The 49ers? The Cleveland Clowns are not going to beat the Jaguars. Jaguars are a joke if they lose to the Cleveland Clowns. Again, the Jaguars are going to be a team that's going to be in the mix, so the Browns are losing.